Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and in this one we have KHA'ZIX Jungle versus Master Yi Jungle from Korea. Normally we have NA versus EU West when it comes to KHA'ZIX's and Master Yi's, but for some reason we have one in a Master Tier ELO Korean game. Let's observe. We're starting Raptors here, which is still kind of a tendency that we're seeing junglers go with, just so that they can kind of have some anonymity with their clears, even though it's kind of obvious what they're doing. I mean, long gone are the days of a Wolf Camp start into the Red Krugs ganking top lane. Rexet players, try it. Let me know what you think, because you can always fall down to invades versus full clearing junglers, and that's interesting. So we're gonna go ahead and do Raptors into the Krugs, excuse me, brainstorm for a second, and we have the Draven and Thresh versus the Maokai. We have Zach top lane, super strong flex pick, goes basically anywhere he wants at this particular stage. He is the new Mundo. Now Master Yi obviously is gonna go topside down here, so the options we have are to finish this, go back to base, and kind of run down. That's an old Predator clear, by the way. Hecarim would do this. Mundo would do this. You'd go, grab this Red Krugs, reset, buy your Predis, and go down and gank a lane. Old days, different days. Mundo was also so damn low. After Krugs, he just had to go back to base. You just steamroll it down. It's really funny. Old time, Season 8, Season 9 times. Now, obviously, this is the Fiddlesticks clear, whereby you just kind of hit the plant, go fast. And now we're doing a little bit of a J-cut gank on the mid lane here. I love this. A little bit of my terminology there as Draven and Thresh go in. But the Talia has sense in her head. A J-cut's basically, look, if you do this, it looks like a little J. So we anticipate, probably started top side, might have seen me, so I'm going to go around the other side where they don't see me. But the Talia is just, I don't know, Savant or something like this. KHA'ZIX now reveals his location. Ooh, in the comments, please, let's have something that represents that. Misses his E jump, so now it's on a 200-second cooldown. Master Yi, this is exactly the kind of shit I'm talking about. Look at this. Look at him go. Can you stop the Draven? So with the Alpha Chains of Destiny, yes we can. Now we're slow here, but on the coaching channel, just covered a platinum game, and the title was why you must be able to dynamically path as a jungler if you want to basically be good. Because if you're, not good and you don't do that, you're just going to lose. So we'll analyze it in a second here, but basically we're going to go in there, a little bit of the upfront damage reduction on the new W Meditate from the Master Yi, much like the Mundo W, and he's going to take this fight thinking he can do it, but we have Rotaciones from the Garen who's going to flash and get nada, but that's okay because he's still figuring out what water is. Now, what I'm talking about is if you're going to full clear intentionally to gank the bottom lane level 4, right, and you see super duper low people, you're not like vibing on your red and your Krugs, rotate, do something about it. Now, if you're half HP, quarter HP, third HP from a clear after you get leashed on the top side, like your clear sucks, you gotta fix it. So that's not always the point, but in that coaching vid, it's exactly what happened. Both junglers just missed translation ganks. They didn't react, they didn't adapt their pathing. Now the KHA'ZIX obviously makes his mistake, but goes, ooh, the W missing. This is not the best start, but doesn't matter. We shall come out ahead. That's why we like these videos, because it's not always perfection early. How do we kind of, because a lot of you always ask in coaching and in comments like, yeah, but what if the world ended and I still wanted to, have a planet? Like, that's the kind of question we always get, what if instead of 2-3 kills early, I had 200 deaths and my bot lane had 200? It was like, it's unrealistic. You just lose those games. Because if you just accept you're going to lose 20% of games on the outset, and the other 20% from that, in addition to that, are basically like within your control to a degree, either you throw or you play badly, so on, like, you just accept those games are over. But of course, that sounds a little bit extreme because we still killed the Yi. We extended our double buffs. Yi shows up top lane here. Now he's got 2 kills, making sure that Zach has a bad time, so that's good. We go and hold this a little bit. Zach TP's back in. We got the second spawn Krugs, the second spawn Raptors. First spawn Gromp is still available. These will be up thusly. And the Jax is now kind of getting caught out here. Does the Yi shadow and remain? Unlikely. He does actually. But it should be kind of obvious here that the KHA'ZIX is still in the area, which means you're putting yourself in a precarious and not so good situation. He gets a double kill, so mind games there. And you guys always ask, this is a great game actually, because you always ask, what if, maybe I get a kill, maybe I don't here, but I try to gank a lane, she backs off. I try to gank this lane, I get nothing. My clear is compromised, my experience is compromised. That's why I don't dynamically path for Virkayu. That's why I don't cut my clear short, because what if it doesn't pay off? Well, I mean, that doesn't matter. What if it does, right? That's the risk reward assessment, but you're still going to be in a better place for trying to make the better play, if that makes sense. So here you now come to the top side. Now you're thinking, all right, I should leave and farm, but they're fighting. Do I stay? Is the Yi there? Did the Yi leave? If I go and the Yi shows up, like, you're going back and forth here. The right play is just to rotate and help him with the Jax and kill the Jax. If Yi shows up, you just win the 2v2 because you would HP and resource advantage. From this, to the Krugs, to the Raptors. Now we're 3-0-0, by the way. We got the 28 on the pet, we got the Serrated Dirk of Destiny, and we can basically do a full clear. Second spawn Wolves, first spawn Grump should be absolutely fine for our first evolve. Or actually not quite, but the Tilia is now winning mid lane, as you would expect versus the Garen. The Thresh is roaming. What's the Yi gonna look to do here? If you're the KHA'ZIX, I think we see the pings on the map here, but you've got a bit of jungle sense going on here with the Thresh. Like your support is roaming, and junglers will be like, well, my support's roaming like an idiot. I know. I want to do my Grump and my Scuttle Crab. Just go with your Thresh, because the numbers advantage is huge, right? You can finish this. This is going to be up. If he's on this, you can test it and kill him. If he shows up, you got the 2v1. So use the roam of your support to maximize your chance of plays. Yi shows up here. He's like, hello, good citizens of the Republic. And then, of course, we're KHA'ZIX, we're Thresh. He has Alpha. Doesn't really matter. Auto attack. One more. Ah, the Peaches. Ah, the Peaches. Draven. Draven to the Draven. Oh, he interrupts it. He knew it was coming, so he interrupts it here. Draven picks it up. That's nicely done. Good ADC, good eyes, good lifting of the head instead of looking down at the CC chain. And the Talia ulted in for that. Thresh gets Talia comboed and then killed by the Xayah. Saplings abound. Now we're split, so they have numbers advantage in the 3v2 here. Thresh will have to do some lantern gaming when it's off cooldown, if it's off cooldown. But I think the smart thing here is to disengage. We will lose the Scuttle Crab. We have a lot of cash money. We got 1,500 almost. So you could stick around for this, but then they might do the extrapolation of, hey, he's on this Grump, let's kill him and destroy him. And you're like, well, I deserve that. I deserve that. So we have a very low or slow level 6 here. We're just waiting so we can get the Duskblade out, right? This is interesting for Assassins because do I go my booties for movement speed in, or do I just go for that full Giga atomization? Now we do need 6 ASAP. Yi is basically doing a good thing of saying, you know, I saw you down there, I died first, I'm going to be up first, you're having to base, you could do Grump, you're going to be obsessed with getting 6 in your red. I can basically use that advantage here to snack myself a Herald and get 6 from that. So very good job by the Yi recognizing Prior here, Garrett's AFK is there, and the fact that he would be able to start this. And the KHA'ZIX would have to make that decision, right? And obviously the decision here is Red Krugs, get 6, and now look to do some cool things as we go for, as you can see, Super Big Claw. Yeah. I feel like we could do more with the name now. I feel like we could do something with that. The Draven's now going in on the Xayah. Level 6 probably gotta be used. Auto chains. The hook hits on the Maokai, gets flayed, forced to flash. Draven's like, oh, we need one more. And then, of course, we're just gonna settle for the wave. KHA'ZIX again, cuts down now and cuts in. We know that the Yi took this. Probably sequences this, down into this. You will look to gank this and clean this up. So we're gonna shadow this basically and say, is Yi in the area? I think he might be, but the Talia is out of position, so I'm going to use my R, get my passive off here, reposition with another one, get the auto passive Q. Beautifully done, and the Yi does show up in the bottom lane and snack himself an assisto on the Draven. We're just going to say, look, I can see the situation here. He's getting yes, yes. Oh well, nice try. The Xayah's down here. We're going to snack a red buff. Now we know it's warded. Can we do some cleanup? You have to basically trust the process here. He's level 7, 331, we're 401. We have the full mythic completed. Maybe a bit of cat and mouse here. No one really wants to fight. And we can basically say, look, Xayah's going to be piecing out. Draven's coming back first. Garen has Prior because I killed the Talia. Objective. We snack. We enjoy. The Jax is now basically still beating up our Zac here, which is a testament to how broken and irritating Jax is. Yes, but I mean, Zac is definitely more so frustrating to play for a lot of people, but Jax is also not exactly fun. I mean, I'm not saying he's broken, he needs nerfs. I'm just saying, like, he's just Jax, right? He's just, everyone knows in League of Legends, Jax. Good champion. Fun design. Now, the Maokai level 4 is going over the wall here with an E-full combo from the KHA'ZIX. A little cheeky claw slap is able to cut down the tree there. That's basically a 300-year-old twig at this particular stage. And now we can fall back to our blue side. So always looking outward before we fall back. Typical stuff. Always good assassin gaming. We have the plates here. He's going to look to use his Herald very soon. Okay, very, very soon, because that thing's timing out in terms of setting up a position. Here we go. That's I'm looking. Like, he probably wants to snowball the bottom lane and try and shut down the Draven, but is that really the best place to do it? You know, your Jax is kind of moving. Could we have just gone that side, knowing the KHA'ZIX has blue side to fall back to you? Like, you see the KHA'ZIX here. Ooh, that's a cool back. We're spinning, and we're spinning. If we go back here, we are basically saying you guys can have this Herald play, but the Yi is just like, bye. Hey. It do be that way sometimes. He just basically sequences and base, no place to use the Herald. Now he's going to be in a bit of a rush here. The Thresh and Draven are basically going in on the Maokai. Like the Maokai just cannot get levels because every time he leaves, goes to a turret, he just gets snacked and cut down. The Zac is in the base now. Garen is reaching lane again. We're basically saying, look, I should go topside sequence down again, but I'm sure the Yi is going to come back and use it down here, so I will counter gank this. Nice read by the KHA'ZIX. Definitely a bit of jungle intuition. There's no sort of categorical way of knowing he's definitely coming down here. It's just a tendency, like the guy keeps showing up, he's gonna have to use a Herald. It doesn't make sense necessarily to force it here against the Garen. This is kind of a tough one to use, although I think that's probably his best bet here. And a nice counter gank by the KHA'ZIX, who then says, right, people dead, get the silence, get that auto proc, which was a lot of damage, and the Garen says, the Marcia, baby, and then she dies. Now the Jax is moving down here, obviously, he's gonna flash the counter strike, get that stun, we get bonked, we're gonna flash over the walls. I want nothing to do with that. Divine Sunder, a Sheen proc champion. We will be here for slows as necessary. Excuse me. No slows yet. Waiting for... I mean, technically we could have smited him for the slow. Technically. Yi shows up, top lane, activates a Herald. He is going to try and shove this out here, beat the... Zac, let's observe this battle of champions. Yes, bounce. He is waiting for the alpha cooldown reset. KHA'ZIX has shown up. Oh... Oh, well, I mean, that's balanced damage. That's balanced damage reduction for sure, but KHA'ZIX is like, well, I have infinite autos and a bush, and my ultimate's coming up, and I got evolved Q, so refunds. So I think the Yi was never going to survive that particular fight. But waste of a Herald, really not good use. Like, he had opportunities to definitely use it here, you know? And obviously the range is also super good. And when you're isolated like that as Yi, you've got to anticipate these things. People don't think about the evolved claw with the KHA'ZIX. Like, they don't understand that when your isolated target being hit, he gets that refund. So he's going to keep doing it against you. And no matter how strong you are, it's just such an insanely powerful evolved ability when he's this fed. Who needs abilities when we can just do that? No W for us. You know, you could probably go with... Problem with E-Evolve in this game is you do have the Jax and the Maokai. So, he always ends up getting a cleanup. Little snack here. We're sitting in the bush. We've got an unseen passive threat going. I mean, the R-Evolve is better for repositioning and more passive autos. Sapling, vision control. But the E is obviously good to go in and out versus CC comms. But at the same time, you know, like if you get chained together, then it's not really going to do much. So, obviously, always we're going W second pretty much for the Evolve. You try to Q him and then he just alphas. There you go. I see. Doesn't we almost have to go W just because the 90% slow is so strong. Basically gives you the guaranteed ISO proc on people who are out of position. We can hold this now. Herald is going to be up. Garen is going to go down. So a nice balanced game so far as we move up to take the second Herald. Outside in, looking for quadro control. We're going to basically go in on the Jax here. Remember, the passive on the Duskblade is super good. Not the camouflage, but the 99% slow for 0.25 seconds. That is always fresh and enjoyed. Now the blue is up here, so we see the Garen taking all of this, which means we know by extinction, by indirect evidence, also by extinction, because we'll make them extinct if they show up, that most likely jungler is going to be showing up this side. So what we're going to do, snack this, and probably want to go back to base with 2k in pocket. I'd like to finish this first, but I think basing is good. Thresh hits the hook, we see the E, now we'll stay. Maokai's like, can you help me? And then little grasshopper E from the KHA'ZIX, who says, hey, look, more CC from my team. So if you're an assassin, playing front to back with CC is great because you hit someone, you kill someone, you hit someone, you kill someone. A flash into a flash. Will he die for his sins, for his desires, for his greed? Yeah, he will. Raven's like, yes, but I am Draven. Xayah ult, can he pull it back? Woo, the heal to reposition. Talia flashes in for that, gets the cleanse actually, so interesting play. Draven's just like, yeah, I can do all of this. Yi shows up, KHA'ZIX is like, I just want to go back to base, please. Because you know ADC's like, pinging you right now. Why did you show up? He scans. He's going to use his W for the damage reduction, and we're just going to reposition. I mean, I hate that damage reduction so much. I really hate that meditate. Preferred it when it was like a 20,000 second cooldown. I don't like that it's on that 8 second or whatever like channel thing. I much prefer how it used to be. It just feels a little bit annoying at this particular stage. Although he does die here thanks to the Garen. I have no issue with Master Yi's in this season. He's had a rough time versus all the Monix Brace and tanks and the CC stuff, so... the Tilly does kill us, and the Zac is now chasing the level 6 I mean, that is a game you're not going to remember. This is a game you're probably going to be like, well, I'm gonna try and memory wipe a gizmo thing from Men in Black this game because I just don't want to remember what happened. Unless he's drunk. Which would explain why he's playing this way. But at the same time, he still has a 1 KDA. So I want you guys to put it in perspective. This Maokai is level 6 at 16, 17 minutes. He's died 7 times, yet he's still 275. What's your excuse for going 270? Because this is you can see this. I'm being facetious, by the way. So we're basically gonna go down and do the dragon here. If you're anticipating a fight, worth noting, in this particular regard, please do your grump first, just to get 11, and don't start this up, because if you start this up and they collapse on you, you have the fight, you're level 10, you don't get the level up, boom, you're dead. So if you can do this first, get your second evolve, right, obviously the W in this case, and now go into the Dragon Pit fight, you have the W for poke, you have the W for picks, you have that extra evolve, plus cooldown and damage bonus on your ultimates for whatever champion you're playing, which can be really useful in these particular moments, especially when you're ahead and you want to use your experience as well as your gold lead. So we snag this baby, we do this, watching our team here. Now if we full sequence up like we would in low elo, and we collapse on this, we are accepting that our team will go down without us. So basically you have to decide, listen, do I do that and have some sort of split push, or do I cut short here and shadow my team and be with them so we can actually break stuff? There we go. You saw it, didn't you? You saw it on the map, you're like, really want to take the top wave from the Krugs, but you see your team pushing up, you see the Garen pushing up and cutting in. It's good to join. We have the Herald, we have that pressure, we can force the rotations, much better macro play. And that's the difference between your high elos and your cucumbers. And we have here Disco 80s cucumber, actually. The KHA'ZIX does go looking for counter jungling, which I think that was a huge stun by the Jax, actually. It's huge for the KHA'ZIX to go up there because we saw the Yi come down, so I would logically anticipate that those camps are gone. I think him hunting for camps there was greedy. Greedy. And because the team probably saw this, or had an understanding that that was the case when they kind of showed without him, they just went in. We do get stunned here as well. Now they're grouping up to take this mid turret. Can we save the day? Can we cut the wave? Can we kill somebody? We have the slow. We have our R, we have a flash, we have double smite, we're watching the Garen. Now we're like, uh-oh, hit it again. Haha, yes, get slowed. They tell us now, do we turn on the Garen? You gotta be really careful, you are an assassin here. That one we miss, sapling, doomed, E, run, bug. We can reposition here over the wall. This is where you want your E reset, right? Because you can go in. Garen's just gonna go in and make sure he gets that smackaroo. Will he be lanterned out? He will. Are we just Bing shilling here, doing slows from the side? With the Zac coming in from the side, now we can wait for our entry point. You see the importance of an assassin patience? If you don't have assassin patience, don't play assassins. That's why low elo assassins are terrible, because you go in 100% and die like 18 times doing this. He just sits there and waits and waits and waits until the right moment to go in to get something. That's it. That's all you're looking to do. You don't want to go in and die. So that's good from him. Obviously, his initial mistake led to that moment, but the Zac done some good TP flanks. And now we can look to maybe make another pick here. Would prefer to kind of go Krugs, Red Raptors, just so we can cut in. And also maybe we can do this if our team's ready to do this. If you want to kind of do this in a little bit, then you kind of want to go Grump Wolves, cut in down here. It depends on what your team wants to do. If you're Flex 5, Clash 5 team, then yeah, that's it. So here you can see, like, we do Raptors, then we kind of loop around, catch mid-wave a bit, which is fine too. We know Draven's going to do the red, but in your elo, your ADC doesn't deserve it. We're going to use the Ghost Blade, our button, we don't have evolve yet, to try and kill the Xayah. We do burn her ultimate. Zac's now looking and thinking. We're going to go over the wall here to try and get the Talia. We are able to snack away that Crown of the Shattered Queen, which is huge for the damage reduction profile. So that's down, that's good. The Maokai ult is burned. I think that's enough spells, and they killed the Yi, so I think that's enough spells and enough damage, so we can go and... Zac really came high on the screen there. We can do a Baron from this, I think. Do they contest? I think you have to give it, guys. I think you have to give it. I think you should be splitting and pushing and doing other things. I don't think we want to fight this. I don't understand solo queue sometimes, because you lose the game from this. You just don't have numbers advantage. Like, you're overestimating what you can do in this fight. And it's ridiculous. I mean, Jax kills, you know, the Garen, which who cares about this? Oh. Nicely done. Now, what you could have done is just put Jax down here, shove the hell out of this, right, to try get as much as you can. The rest of you push out the waves, take all of your camps, and basically prepare for the nuclear winter. Like, prepare yourself some stocks, get all your camps warded up, and now wait out the Baron. Because you cannot do it because you got picked. Again, that's the best way to deal with that scenario. Don't coin flip this with no jungler 4v5. Push hard as hell to force at least 1 or 2 bases to deal with the Jax. Jax gonna take these camps. Maybe you can delay them enough you get a dragon, right? That goes in backline here. He's gonna force a flash, gets a Q knock up. He will be passive checked for this. And the KHA'ZIX will say, yes, thank you so much. I can clean this up. We'll take the inhib. And you will be up in 14 seconds. So that's a better thing to do if you're the blue team in that regard, right? Hopefully that makes sense macro-wise. I think it's very important to understand when you just, the ability to be patient, to give up something, even if you're not getting the same value back, can I get something back? You know, cutting your losses. You know, you're trying to sell something at a certain price because of what you paid for it. No one is interested in paying for that price anymore. Just get some money back, you know? It's worth that than nothing. So if you don't want the item, it's the best way to do it. Now we're going to do this Dragon here, and then we've got the Scuttle Crab afterwards. Nice fallback, take all camps, take objective. This Super Bowl push. We can catch this one as well. Zach's going to be top lane here. Jax is going to show up. We hope he can kind of deal with this 1v1. Because if you need 2 people to kill the Jax or deal with the Jax, it kind of ruins a lot of the game. I would love a stone plate, to be honest. That ultimate healing from the Radiant Virtue. Avoid the counter-strike stun if you can, but it... Flash, leap strike, Q. Nothing to Q2! Alright, he runs. Does KHA'ZIX go and try and chase this down? I think he should. I think we should say, hello, Jax. Ubistu. Alright, he's run away. So now, the rest of their team are basically taking this. I have built in Warmogs. You cannot touch me. I am Demacia. Oh, there's Jax. There we go. There's a slapstick, slap cheeks. Here over the wall. KHA'ZIX has now done his job. We can just catch this and shove this. We can also catch this and push this up a little bit as well. It's probably a better thing to do, just to push up for a bit of vision control here. I'm staring at the map, so we can see what our team does in relation to that. There we go. TB from the Zach is being committed with the Jax being dead. I think it's very important that we end the game right now. W slow. Zach in the back line, waiting for the alpha channel. KHA'ZIX biding his time. Garen hitting the turret. Again, we're trying to slow with Cyrilda's Grudge. Edge of Night, Ghostblade, reposition. We're on the flank there. Can we do something? We're just biding our time. That's why the W evolve is just too good. W evolve is just too good. And Cyrilda's Grudge with this as well. Super nice. Well done. Like, sometimes you don't have to go all the way. See, now we go in. Sometimes up front, you don't have to go all the way in. It costs you when you try and do that. Just chill. Use your spells. You have that as an assassin from KHA'ZIX, which is why he's so good, which is why he was originally, back in the day, Season 3, Season 4, used in lane. Obviously, he was much more broken then, but that ability to have some sort of wave control when it comes to these game states was huge. Well done, sir. 16-1-6, very understated 16-1-6, a gentleman's 16-1-6. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed and learned something. Please like, share, and comment. If you did, head to Virkayu.gg for your courses, coaching, GG guides, for live companion guides, all the links. See you all in the next tutorial.